good day. So I wonder whether James is going to be here, James Bell. Last time he had some serious connectivity challenges, and I heard from two other students that also said that they had trouble connecting. I see that the four of you, of course, are here, but did you have trouble getting in? Did you have to try more than once? Seems like you guys just were able to get in. Great. Huh? Otherwise, you tell me, right? All right, any questions before I start? About anything, really? You got in by accident, Michael? You just sort of thought, eeny, meeny, miny, mo, and you ended up here? Well, let's hope it's serendipitous. Anybody else? I like that, Michael. All right, well, I'm not sure anybody else is going to come, but of course, as usual, all of these presentations, chats, are being recorded. Now, I do want to tell you that my own personal style of holding chats is to get everybody involved and don't wait till the end if you have a question. I love to have you be totally engaged, and I would love it if you were to ask questions, participate, make comments. I know some instructors say, hey, wait till the end because I might cover it. No, don't wait till the end. Ask when you have it, and if I cover it again, that would be a review. All right. So a little bit about me. So I have been at AIU since 2004, January. Wow. Seems like a long time to me. So I got my BS in Marketing and Management from Indiana University. That's in Bloomington, Indiana. I got I need to update this, don't I? I noticed one of my degrees not on here. International Business MBA from Portland State University. I just completed an MBA in Technology Management, and I'm going for my PhD in Technology Management. It's actually not a PhD, it's a Doctorate of Management. They're very similar, just this one has a little less research and is more on a practitioner's kind of orientation. So I am a PMP, and that's what I'm actually teaching here at AIU right now. But other than that, I generally have taught most of the time quantitative statistics. So kind of have that, but I don't only teach at AIU, I also teach other places, and I teach international business and marketing and some advertising classes like that. So I have a very eclectic background with lots of experience. I was a manager with Coca-Cola USA, which is the company in Atlanta, the base company, and a division of Johnson & Johnson where I sold surgical instrumentation, like to OR nurses. And then I was a global product manager in information technology at Intel Corporation. So, and then I kind of, for a little bit switched gears and I went to nonprofit. So I was executive director of the Portland Food Drive. Oh, yeah, in Portland, Oregon. Oh, I see I put in there expected 2020 MIDM Doctorate of Management. Okay. I should have it up there, I guess. I don't know. Either place is good. But I don't have my Capella MBA there, so. All right, so let's see, let myself a note add to the slide. All right. So, study skills. What is it all about? Well, it sort of involves this big universe of all the things that you have that you are going to be retrieving, identifying as either valuable or not, and deciding where you're going to put that when you're writing papers or just learning, just reading. So your computer is that gateway. And this is, of course, an online program. So you naturally can assume that you're using some kind of technology, be it a smartphone or a computer or a tablet or whatever. All right, study skills. Oh, we lost somebody. Gosh darn. I don't know whether that was intentional or whether they lost connectivity. That happens. So, especially if you are not on a computer. Oh well, let's hope that they come back or can later review from the archives. Okay, so when I started putting this presentation together, I thought, I don't even know what study skills include. I mean, I have a general idea, but it turned out to be a lot more specific and all-inclusive than I thought. So what are study skills? Well, they are the group of competency types of skills that you have for reading and note-taking, research and evaluation, critical thinking skills, writing skills, referencing, group work and presentation, and exam skills. And we're not going to cover all of those today, not in a lot of detail anyway. Some of the stuff we'll have, hey Veronica, some of the stuff we're going to have some good deep discussion on, and other things I'll just sort of mention. But feel free to ask any questions about any part of these, and I'll be happy to elaborate a little bit on it. And by the way, I'm also looking for ideas on what might be of value and interest to undergraduate students at AIU about other presentations that I might want to give. So far, I present on a different topic, and I look at, well, at least 4 times each session, the first 4 weeks on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Central Time. And I look for ideas that will add value to help you be successful. So I've done some presentations that are in the archives on SQ3R, which is a type of reading method which helps you to comprehend some either technical writing or some professional writing that may be a little difficult to get past because it's got terminology or whatever in it. So it's a SQ3R is a way of really getting through those tough articles. I have also done some time management presentations, and I've done a few other ones, so you can find some in the archives. And as I said, I'm going to do some new ones this session. Last session, I, for instance, gave a presentation on basic math skills, working with algebra, sort of like just some basic things on equations or whatever. This session, the 4th week, I'm actually going to be reviewing some basics on statistics. Okay, and then next week, I think I'm just going to be doing general APA skills. So, but yeah, if you can write to me, I better put my address down here. Although you can find it in the lab, I'm going to put it down here right now. Feel free to do so. First of all, if you have any questions, if I can help you out. And honestly, I feel like I'm sort of a central resource for a lot of things. It doesn't mean that I know everything, but I know where to find the information or to get you in touch with a person that probably would know. So that, I think, is very helpful. I've been around so long, and I kind of have taught different classes, and I've been in different positions within the university that I do feel as though I have a good sense of, you know, who's doing what to support students. So that's one thing. The next thing is that when you want to identify something of interest and you'd like for me to do a chat on it, it's not a guarantee, you know, but I might say, okay, great, right now I'm kind of full, or I have this on the list, but I definitely think that I could create something of value from that idea. Okay, So I'd like to know where you guys are from, though, before I continue with this. So I'm from Portland, Oregon. So Heather, where are you from? Michael, Robert, Veronica, please tell me where you're from. Okay. Robert, I see you have a raised hand. Feel free, you don't have to raise your hand if you have a question. Roanoke, Virginia. Okay. Drove through there one time many years ago. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful area. I remember it. Outside Chicago, Veronica. So how far outside of Chicago? I'm from northern Indiana originally. Hobart, New Chicago. Does that, not too far from Valparaiso? Yeah, 40 minutes. Okay, yeah. That was about 30 minutes or so. Yeah, right off of Highway 6 there. So you're north, yeah, and I was like southeast, I guess you might say. Yeah. Okay, so Robert and Veronica. How about Michael and Heather? Where are y'all from? I hope you're having good weather wherever you are. Either you can't hear me, either you walked away, or you just don't want to share. I mean to put you on the spot. Heather and Michael. Oh, well. Well, sometimes students walk away for a little bit. So, all right. Well, anyway, thanks for joining again. Okay, so I found this word cloud. They're word clouds. And I thought that it best represented what study skills are all about. Note-taking, grammar, exam, analysis, essays, critical thinking. Critical is in there. Understanding, reading, essay and essays are in there. Isn't that interesting? Questions, planning, things like that. A lot of what is in this word cloud I thought was pretty darn important. And again, we're going to review some of that. Okay, so study skills. The first thing we want to look at is that it includes reading and note-taking. Now, I mentioned earlier that I gave a presentation on SQ3R. It's a reading method. It stands for Scan, Question, Read, Recite, Review. The 3 R's, read, recite, review. It's in the archives, and I personally have found this method to be incredibly important and valuable when I read very challenging material, technical material, or professional material that uses new terms that I'm not familiar with. It is a great process that helps you to be able to say, I can take this in small chunks, and I can also do a holistic review of what I need to learn. Right? So SQ3R helps build a framework to understand your reading assignment. All right, study skills also involve research and evaluation. When you conduct research, you want to be able to tap into the peer-reviewed databases in the library to find articles. Now, one big issue that students seem to have in general is that they want to use Wikipedia for research. Well, golly, what happened to Veronica? She's gone too. We've had this issue before. I mean, people could be leaving proactively, but difficulty with connectivity and then difficulty staying in. So I hope you guys stay with me, but, if you need to go, I mean, certainly go, but, I just hope that you're not being kind of thrown off from the server. All right, so what is the reason that Wikipedia is not being encouraged for use for research? It's easy, it's free. Anybody want to hazard a guess? Some instructors will absolutely not accept Wikipedia. All right, I'll just tell you. Wikipedia is a user-submitted database. It is not peer-reviewed. A few years ago, I'd say maybe more like 7 or 8 years ago, there was a big issue because they just permitted anybody who could connect and write anything to act as experts on some of the articles that are in there. And guess what? It was incredible. It was not valid. So you can use Wikipedia to help you find original articles. Like, you can read about it, then at the bottom it has articles as references. So you want to go to those articles and do not ever quote or reference Wikipedia, but go to those articles and then reference those. Ask questions. Develop and refine search queries to get better results. Repeat, repeat, repeat. So if you're searching for articles in the library, go in to the library, review the course guides. Did you guys know there's a course guide for absolutely every course? It's in the library, and it helps students identify how to search for good articles for their assignments. It helps them to understand a little bit more about what specifically might be keywords or other types of information to use for your paper. So it's really great. And then of course communicate with the librarians. I do teach for other schools, as I said. I will tell you that, in my opinion, these are the best librarians I have experience with. So they are a fountain of knowledge. Connect with them, network with them. When you ask questions, that doesn't mean just ask questions of other people, ask questions of yourself. Look at the sources in your references in your articles. Look at significance, importance, social and cultural context. Evaluate websites by looking at their currency, meaning, are they current? Is it up to date? Look at security. Look at scope. Is there enough information, not enough, or too much? And then authority. Does the information come from a trusted expert? Respect ownership. Respect the intellectual property rights of the creators and producers. Use APA Research Guide for proper referencing and in-text citation. Respecting ownership is talking about the fact that when you use information from an article, cite it. Give credit where credit is due. You can think of it this way. If you wrote something and it was your creation, you did all the work, and somebody just took it and acted like it was their own, that would probably make you mad. So please do appreciate and reference when you're taking material from peer-reviewed articles even. Okay. Avoid multitasking. This is a big one. You've probably seen a lot of those commercials already. Oprah, I think, is a big supporter of putting out like public announcements about don't text while you drive. Multitasking is not the be-all, end-all that people thought that it was. Multitasking is actually a way of disrupting your flow. And your brain cannot handle all of these different things. It can only process really to the depth that you need to. It can only process one thing at a time. And if you multitask, your brain might get, in some way distracted, and then need to get realigned with your focus. So that becomes a very inefficient way to get your work done. So people watch TV, people listen to the radio, people make dinner, people do all kinds of things while they're trying to write a paper, and they waste a lot of time. So try to find a short amount of time excuse me, where you can actually focus on what you want to get done. Get enough sleep. We're all notorious, as far as especially Americans, with not getting enough sleep, and that's a danger on the road. Have you read articles about that? It's really, really frightening. But especially if you're trying to learn and write papers, you need to sleep, because it's like filling up a gas tank. You're going to go on a long journey, you need that gas, and that's what the sleep is. And then role model online etiquette. So when you are, for instance, working on a DB, be respectful to your peers, be courteous. Okay? There's a new term called, and I'm going to type it in, disinhibition. It's an effect that's the result of online anonymity. So what happens is students generally, or other people like on Facebook or other social media, feel like they can be anonymous, even if you know their name, but they can be anonymous and they can bully and they can be rude. So try to be cordial, try to ensure that you are, really being considerate of other people. When you give feedback on the DB, please don't get personal. Look for areas of improvement, but it's very hard to take criticism. Try to make it a critique instead. You guys ever experienced that, Heather or Robert? Have you had anybody say anything to you that was not only rude, but just kind of hurtful in a classroom environment? Have to go with no. Are you guys still here? Heather and Robert, are you just choosing not to respond? I mean, you don't have to participate, but I just want to make sure you can hear me. Okay. All right, so study skills also involves critical thinking skills. Critical thinking skills require that you look deeper into what is being said and why it's being said. So when you're reading an article, you might want to read it at face value. But here's where your investigative skills come into practice. You're going to want to question what you read. Identify the strengths and weaknesses. Evaluate what is being argued, what is being stated. Do you agree with it? Form a set of questions and create similar ones for all of your arguments and essays, so you can question the way that things are being presented. Use your answers to develop your academic argument. Assess your sources. What is the source? What are the strengths and limitations of the source? Identify bias or prejudice. Does the author have a hidden agenda? When you go on certain sites, especially different websites, They might be there to draw in people. They might even expose or sensationalize certain events to try to get people just to be interested. So look for things like that with the articles. What's the purpose of the writing? Does the writing reflect a political viewpoint? Who might disagree with the writer? This is what you need to look at, all perspectives from all different positions. Evaluate the evidence. What evidence examples does the writer use? How reliable or useful is the evidence? Does it support the argument? Is the evidence up to date? Do they make any assumptions, the writers? Consider their argument. What's the main argument? What statements in the argument strengthen or weaken the argument? Understand why authors have arrived at different conclusions. Look at more than one article. Look at the way that a particular author comes to a conclusion, and look at the way another author might come to a different conclusion and why. And argue why one viewpoint is preferable to another. This will help you question your own assumptions, question your own biases. And sorry, I went a little bit too far just a second. Writing skills. Study skills require good writing skills. You will want to analyze your question. Your question is the main reason for your paper. It's the high-level reason. So look at instructional terms, look at content terms, and translate jargon. An instruction or instructional term is where you review the keywords, which guide you as to how you are supposed to answer the question. Content terms, review the words which detail what you're supposed to write about. Translate jargon, which means that you're identifying words that are difficult to understand. Maybe you want to get a thesaurus and look at a synonym. But either way, what you would like to do is to find some alternate simple words so that you can start rewriting what you're reading. And that can be the basis for how you're writing your paper. Ask questions of your question, organize your reading. Mind map. Does everybody know what a mind map is? It's like a diagram. It's actually an example here. You're writing the book of your life. So you say, okay, I'm going to need chapters. I'm going to need to distribute the book to different bookstores, perhaps, or Amazon online. You have a manager. Maybe you're evolving yet with the story. Imagination, author, general story, like fiction, plots, planning. So that's what a mind map is. It's a way of brainstorming, of putting things out there on paper and looking for connectivity. Okay. Organize your reading, mind map your questions. The reading for your essay should be focused on your question. Think about the topics you're actually going to write about. Make a flow chart. Transition your mind map into a flow chart where you can use linking lines to decide on the logical order of the points you're going to make. Use your word count guide to help you determine how many subtopics you'll write about. Check for relevance. Plan your paragraphs. Proofread. Okay, now proofreading, you want to proofread twice. Once for punctuation and grammar, once for structure. So try printing out your essay and reading it from the paper, and read it out loud. Have somebody else read it to you. You should read each paragraph and summarize in the margin in 1 or 2 words what that paragraph is about. And so this is your mind map. This is the flow chart that is a result of a different mind map, obviously, because it has different terms and materials, but it has some information that helps you to start structuring your paper. Oh, and then when you do take some information out of an article, be sure that you cite it correctly. And remember, you have an APA 6th edition for references and in-text citations. Work with a librarian when you have any concerns or questions. When you use study skills for group work and presentation, keep a collaborative attitude. How many of you guys, have you, Heather or Robert, used this kind of skill set? Have you worked in a group project here at AIU? Some of the classes are doing away with them. Fewer and fewer group projects as part of the courses. Remember that you're communicating to keep your audience engaged. Don't talk too fast. Don't give too much information. Don't pack your slides with lots of text. And keep good eye contact with as many different people as is appropriate. Use a strong, clear voice. And the last one is exam skills. Prepare many days in advance. Make a plan about what you want to cover for review. Get lots of sleep the night before. You know, contrary to popular opinion, people thought they could cram and do very well. It turns out that you lose a lot of information. You can't focus, and what you thought you might memorize can be gone like a wisp. Stay cool, calm, and collected, and have confidence in yourself. Hey, use study skills for success. That is it, you guys. I kind of went through it kind of fast, but I'm happy to stay for questions. Did you guys have any? I do want to thank you for stopping by. Next week, as I said, it's going to be basic information on APA. And then the following after that is going to be a presentation about fundamentals of statistics. Any questions, you guys? Don't know if you're trying to type and you can't. If you are, and there's something wrong with your ability to do so, would you send me an email to that address so that I can tell tech support about it? All right. Okay, that's it. That's all I wanted to present tonight.